Doing it live in full effect. Another week. Welcome. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite podcast. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Riffin with Griffin. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is Riffin with Griffin. What's up, y'all? Riffin with Griffin. I wanted to do this at 10 a.m., but some stuff was happening, but it don't matter. But today, welcome back. I'm talking about this show, Swarm, on Amazon Prime. I binged it all last night. Mandalorian's back. Got some weird news stories. Self-cleaning, like headphones that clean your ears. Weird social experiments. And just me being me. Oh, Riffin with Griffin. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, if you in your car right now, you in your semi-truck, you at work, I know you bobbing your head right now. Come on now, let everybody in the workplace know. What is this? Whoa, 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 whoa. All right, y'all. Welcome back to Riffin with Griffin. It's good to be here as usual. Thanks everybody who is, supporting the show by coming in live on Wednesdays. We moved the show to Wednesdays. It's Riffin with Griffin. You know how we do it. Sometimes we doing comedy. Sometimes I'm funny. Sometimes I'm introspective. Sometimes I'm serious, but I'm always 100% me. That's for the new people. For the people that come here all the time, you already know what it is. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you always. Riffin with Griffin. Go to ericgriffin.com to check me out. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to the show, y'all. Subscribe, share, let everybody, it helps me with the algorithm and all that. Write comments on the Apple and all those places. And I appreciate the people listening too. So we got that. And then I'm going to be on Twitch. I love Twitch, Erik Griffin Gaming. I'm doing that all the time. So make sure you come check that out. I appreciate you. The ways to support the show, though. You could be a Patreon member. You could be a YouTube member. You could be a Twitch sub. You could super chat like Janine just did, and I totally appreciate you, girl, every single week. You're great. Thank you very much. Again, like I say, you could be a Patreon member, and I keep saying I'm trying to do this thing, but I went to Fashion Week with Rachel, and I'll talk to you about that. But it is what it is. Yeah. So do all that stuff. Riffin with Griffin. What do I got coming up? If you want to come see me live, Erik Griffin live in full effect. My April is packed. I'm gonna be at the Blue Room in Missouri. The Blue Room and so that's coming up. Wait, let me get the damn where. Let me get my calendar open. Yeah, I should probably have my calendar open when I'm doing this, but we do it live. I'm behind today. It is what it is. Okay, so. Let's see. April 13th through the 15th, the Blue Room, okay, in Missouri. So come check me out there. Louisville Comedy Club, the 20th to the 22nd. Come check that out. And just booked the new comedy club, Joe Rogan's Comedy Club, The Mothership in Austin. I will be in Austin the 28th through the 30th. So come check me out in Austin. And I'm gonna do Kill Tony on the first if he's doing it that day. So I'm gonna be in Austin area. So come check me out for there. Riffin with Griffin. Okay, guys, today's show is brought to you by Kick. Okay, Kick off. Don't let your credit control you. Go to kickoff.com and start building better credit in less than 5 minutes. Don't put it off. That's KIKOFF.com to take control of your credit right now. Build your credit the easy way right now at kickoff.com. Okay, how's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing well. We had quite the weekend. I know I had a great weekend. This weekend I went to where was I? I was in I was in Palm Springs with Rachel. Rachel was doing Fashion Week. Rachel was walking in El Paseo Fashion Week. She's still there now, actually, doing her thing. Rachel's been now modeling for like 20 plus years, man. She's doing that. So, shout out to my lovely wife doing Fashion Week, even though Fashion Week is expensive. It costs me a lot of money. Modeling is for rich girls and young naive girls who are trying to like think that this is going to make me a star. You know what I mean? Modeling is such a weird business. But anyways, let's go to comments first. That's how we do it. I want to talk about comments that I got this week, or from last week's show or whatever it is. Let's see. Zach Stevens. This is why The Last of Us is a great story. There are no right or wrong answers. Objectively, Joel should let Ellie die to help humanity, but we aren't objective. What does he say? We love who we love, like who we like, love Rachel, e.g. It's the argument of what's right versus protecting who we love. Yes, thank you, Zach. I mean, what an interesting debate The Last of Us brought up. What would you do if your loved one, your kid, your wife, your brother, your mother, they had the cure that could save humanity? Do you know what I mean? What would you do? It's a tough one. It's a tough one. You almost like you let someone else decide. And then, but that's actually making the choice too, right? If you say you decide because I'm too objective, too subjective. I don't know. That's a weird one. So this guy Noah Morodo, Eric with he's saying, what are you talking about with the NBA video games? Don't give you control of how you shoot it. It's not the AI. It all depends on the style of shot and the user's timing. And he laughs. You are 1,000% wrong, bro. The AI is based off the player's shooting percentage in real life, right? Or they do an estimation. They go, this guy shoots, say, he shoots 45% from the field, right? So there is no way, whatever you do with the controller, that your player is going to shoot 100%. Like you're going to get 9 out of 9 shots. They won't allow it because then it would just be complete fakeness, right? Then you would just get Steph Curry, figure out how to shoot the ball every single time and make every single shot. That's how they do it. So they're trying to make it like where as if like, well, with your hand movements, you're not going to actually make it do the same thing every time. But there is a way you get to that point where you're getting pretty good. No, they don't allow that because they want it to feel realistic. So the AI does step in. Like sometimes you'll be underneath the basket in one of those basketball games and you got your player and you're just shooting a layup. The dude's a 7-footer and he can't make a layup. That's the game deciding shit. So you're 1,000% wrong, but thanks for the comment. Anyways, somebody said your volumes are so low for your pods. I shouldn't be at max volume on my phone or Bluetooth and barely be able to hear you. Please speak with something, he said to pump up the volume. I don't know. What do you guys think that's listening right now? Is the volume too low to you guys? Seems like I'm getting max volume on my meters right now. So maybe it's the audio version that's not going out loud enough. I don't know. So, yeah, so I don't know why that, I don't know why that is. Seems like it should be coming out pretty loud, but I guess I got to figure that out, but is what it is, y'all. You know what I mean? Let me do like this. How about that? Is it being that loud better? Hello. I don't know. We're testing. We're doing it live. So I turned it up just because I saw that right there. Greatest intro of all time. No discussion. Alfonso Alvalos. Thank you very much. Let's see what else we got here. Belinda Cross Street said hell to the no on ranch ice cream. Yeah, that was from last week's episode. Ranch ice cream. I don't even know. Let's see. Some people that got weird names. I wish everybody just had their name as your username. All this cowardly, like hiding behind these stupid names. Well, it's not always cowardly, but it's just a lot of times it's cowardly, and other times it's just just some dumb thing that we used to do. Who are you? Just put your name. You know what I mean? You got something to say? Put your name on it. I don't know. Let's see another comment. Here's another one about Last of Us from Hugo Harosa. I think that's how you say it. Joel did what he did because on top of everything else, the Fireflies knocked Ellie out and didn't tell her what they were doing. So to him, that automatically made them suspect, as he felt justified in rescuing her. Yeah, maybe, but that's also my comment on that is sometimes, like, is that the humane thing to do? Let's say you have the cure for cancer in you, and not every, self-preservation kicks in. You might be an honorable person, and I come to you and I say, hey, you have the cure for cancer in you, so you have to die to save everybody. You may make that choice. You may be like, you know what, kill me then. But I mean, do you even want to take that risk? Or maybe is it the humane thing to do to say to you, hey, you have the cure for cancer in you, and but there may be some complications, but this could save humanity, and you kind of soften it. Then you go, yeah, you know what? I want to save everybody. And then you just cut that motherfucker open. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like, it depends on what you like, what you want to hear. But anyway, that's the comments from this week, and everybody, thanks for reaching out. I appreciate your comments. You know what I mean? Yeah, I see what somebody else is saying. Is she old enough to make that choice? But, I think she is. I actually think in the show, Ellie would have made the choice. I think Ellie would have been like, kill me. I couldn't save my friends. I couldn't save everybody. She's tired of losing people, and she survives. I think she would have made the choice. I think she would have made the right choice. And Joel was just like, nah, man, I can't. You know what I mean? I can't lose another person that I care about, and I can do something about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's that on that. So anyways, guys, this week I was in, I went to Palm Springs. I went to, Palm Springs with Rachel, and it was like really fun. She was walking in Fashion Week with all, and she even had to stay an extra day, so that was kind of cool. Let me see if I can go to her Instagram right now, and just give Rachel a follow, guys, if you like. Well, girls too. I don't care, guys, girls, whatever. Yeah, so Rachel's out there in Fashion Week, doing her thing. So then she put out like a lot of videos of us eating. You know what I mean? Like we went to like the different coffee shops and stuff like that. But in Palm Springs was really nice. This is actually a great time of year to be in Palm Springs, because it's like the weather is like really nice right now. It was like in the 70s. Yeah, so she has a lot of videos from her, like, getting ready and all these like the crazy outfits that she had to wear. like some of the high fashion stuff I just don't get. Yeah, we were staying at the Hotel Paseo, really great hotel. Yeah, so here she comes walking right now. There she is right there. Been doing it 20 years, y'all. 20 years modeling. So shout out to my lovely lady. Yeah, it was fun. I don't know. I don't know about modeling. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it like has the same appeal that it once did, or how we look at it. Like, we have this like objectification that we do of people, models, mostly female, but even the male models, it's like when you see like a shirtless guy in underwear on a billboard, we're objectifying this guy too. There are guys that have experienced things, it's just rare where you hear about it, because that's just not how men normally deal with that situation. But it's like, there is this like perception that men have never been sexually, objectified, or like, inappropriate things. I mean, it happens a lot. It's happened to me many times, and if you can believe that. But it's like, it's not something that we could deal with it differently. So but we don't, like, we're not putting it out on Front Street all the time, whatever it is like that. You know what I mean? Not that I'm saying that that's wrong. I'm just saying it's just we deal with it differently. So, I think the society has moved in a different direction. It's like, we don't hear about the Miss America pageant as much as we used to, or Miss Universe, and this sort of parading women out for their beauty for the world to see. And like, we don't celebrate that stuff as much as we did before. And it's probably a good thing. You think about all kinds of things that we still have in society like that, like cheerleading, like, women dressed up all sexy at restaurants, or, whatever the waitress, I'm saying, or like all the ways we use sex to sell things. Or we use sex to sex and sexuality and beauty as a way of as a source of entertainment. I mean, it's still all there, but those things that are blatantly about that, it's just not like that anymore. It's not, because even when I've been going, like I've seen a shift, even as I've gone to like a bunch of Rachel's modeling shows. You see, like now they're doing this thing where it's like different body types, different ages. You know what I mean? You might see you see a thickie walking down the you know what I mean? She thick as hell walking down the runway, and you're like, okay, big bitch. You know what I mean? Do your thing. It's like, and she's wearing an outfit that I think people in the audience are like, okay, you know what? I think I can wear that, but it's like, it's not this, it's not the same as it once was. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like there's a shift in society. But what do you think? Maybe you don't think there's a shift in society, but I do think there's been a huge shift in society. Okay, so I want to get to I have some 2 reviews that I'm going to do today. One of them is The Swarm on Amazon Prime. Last night I watched the first episode because somebody was telling me about it, and I actually saw this thing about like Macaulay Culkin's brother. I forgot the guy, something Culkin. It's one of the Culkin brothers. He has this sort of nude scene. He's got his like dick smushed up against a a glass bowl of strawberries. Like he gets into bed with her and he puts the strawberries in his lap, and then the camera zooms in through the bowl and his dick is just smashed up against the bowl. And I'm just like, what is this show about? You know what I mean? So they would make it a big deal. So I was like, what's this show even about? And then I saw this poster for the show and I was like, this black girl. And I was like, what is this about? So I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to do that at the end. And then also Mandalorian's back. So give my thoughts about what's going on with that. You know what? First and foremost, before we even do that, let me give a word to our sponsor again, Kickoff. All right, Kickoff. Credit is such a big deal, guys, and there's so many different ways to help you get your credit. But having good credit is going to help you get better interest rates for your credit cards, for buying a house, for even when you're renting, whatever you're doing, they check your credit, and having a great credit score is super important. So don't let your credit control you. Getting ready for the next step in your life. I mean, this is like so important. Like I say, when you're going to buy a house, you're going to buy a car, you need to have amazing credit to get good credit rewards. And there's no way around it. Credit scores are boring. I'm just going to be honest. Talking about your credit is boring, but it is important this is how you adult. Adults need to adult. But credit's boring, but they still determine what kind of credit card you get, what kind of interest rates. All that stuff is super important. And I'm here to tell you that, having great credit, like I had to work on it and I'm there now, but I know what a struggle it is. So don't let your credit control you. Go to kickoff.com and start building better credit in less than 5 minutes. With a 4.9 out of 5 rating in the App Store and over 44,000 rave reviews, you can trust Kickoff to help you get ahead. You can even set it to auto pay so you can build your credit without even thinking about it. Plans start at like $5 a month, and on every on-time payment you make with Kickoff is reported to the major credit bureaus. When they see healthy habits, it boosts your credit. Don't put it off. That's KIKOFF.com to take control of your credit right now. Build your credit the easy way right now at kickoff.com. Okay, so I had some stories that I wanted to go into today that I saw that just like, and this is one of the major ones, man. This one is just like, where's this sucker, man? I had it right here. Oh, this is just this social experiment nonsense, man. I just want to talk about this. And this is the thing I realize is when you that's making me feel like an old fogey, It's like, I don't want to feel like that, but I'm feeling like it. So they got this social experiment where singles across the world are participating in the largest social experiment ever conducted. So it's about like, you're going to wear a ring. So you don't have to be on social apps. So it said, according to Vogue, 76% of people are open to being chatted up in real life, but how do you know who's single and who's not? And so they're saying people are going to wear this ring on their finger, and when you see that ring, that's going to signal, oh, that person's single, so let me go talk to them. Let me tell you what I find ridiculous about this. Okay? Let me tell you what I find completely and utterly ridiculous about this whole thing, man. All right? You need an experiment to talk to other human beings in real life. Like, this needs to be a thing where you have to buy a little ring, as if like you could trust everybody with this ring that's telling the truth. As if talking to people, we are communal beings. We are people that need to be around other people. We need to laugh. We have 6 senses meant to interact with other people and to survive. You taste, smell, hear, see, feel. These are all things that we have to help us interact with other human beings. So this idea, and listen, again, I'm not anti-dating app at all. I'm not saying that, okay? I met Rachel on Instagram, all right? I'm not saying that, but we got off of that right away. I invited her to my show right away. She came to my show right away, and then we hung out 2 days later at something that she invited me to, and then we went on a date 3 days after that. I'm just telling you, it's a great way to meet people, to be safe, but don't rely on that. So I'm not being like, get off my lawn. But you young people need to get off your goddamn phones. Stop texting people as your only way to communicate. Do you know how much is lost in translation? How about this? What happens in real life, man? You wonder why a dude like me, I'm not the most handsome dude in the whole wide world, but I've done well in my dating life and meeting people because of what happens in real life. I have a boisterous personality. I'm funny. I'm charming. I listen. I make eye contact. I read body language. These are all things that are super important to interacting with other human beings. You don't need no damn social experiment to do what we had to do for 10,000 years before the internet and cell phones. You young men, you're so afraid of rejection that you're not going in public and being like, hello. So what? A chick is like, hey, you know what? I think if there's any women even listening right now, don't you want to be talked to? Don't you want a person to be like, a guy to be like, show interest in you, give you attention, make eye contact, be like, hey, how you doing? And then you can also feel like, ooh, this is some crazy, I'm getting crazy vibes from this guy, and you can feel that right away. How many times have you been talking to somebody for months, texting like, oh, this is real, I have such a connection over text, and then you meet them in real life and you're like, ooh, what happened? Something's going on. That's because that ain't real. It's not enough. It's limited. It's a limited version of the person. Get out in real life. What are you guys doing? You don't need a social experiment. Go meet people. This is why, and I tell you, you wonder why you think older guys do well. You think older guys do well with younger women just because of what? Because of money and things like. And now, man, I'm telling you, it's because my generation, 40s and up, we there was a time when we didn't have the internet and cell phones, and we had to actually meet people at bars. We had to, like, you're out someplace and you're like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Or you, like, a friend introduced you to someone and you had to go on blind dates and you had to do that kind of stuff. So, like, we are more equipped. You 40 and up, you're more equipped. You out in public, like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Whatever. And then, like, that person, women are like, oh my, wow, you're actually talking to me, because these young men are cowards. Young men are cowards, and they rely on this like meat market. They're like, ooh, swipe, and they always think there's something better. Ooh, that girl's prettier. Ooh, that girl's prettier. You don't know nothing about them. You think pretty is enough? Haven't you ever met somebody pretty and they open their mouth and you're like, yuck? You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's so much more to human interaction. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's like when a person they're successful, Like if you're a young man and you're successful, man, use that. Like if you're 30 and you got your own house and you got a great job, man, that is just, it's that swag that not just the things you have, but how you got it. You got it by being confident and, and like you're a go-getter and, you're talented. That's the thing that's attractive. It's not just like, money. Like if you think it's, if you run across a person that all they care about is money, you're going to feel that and you'll be able to move on, but you'll be able to feel that in person. I just think you don't need a social experiment to do what we were designed to do. That's why we have a voice. That's why we have eyes. That's why we have ears, to listen, feel, look, communicate. I can't tell you how often that I'm counseling someone, I do real world advice and people just hit me up. I have my friends that hit me up about, I had a friend of mine hitting me up about some stuff. And like they're texting, and I say, you can't text this. When you're if you're having an issue with a loved one, a lover, a friend, a family member, do not text them in the middle of a heated whatever. Don't text. You need to tell them, hey, can we talk about this on the phone? Get on FaceTime? Can we meet for coffee? Because it will be different. It will be. This sort of fake internet courage that people have when they're texting and they think, I could say whatever. There is something about being held accountable for your words and actions in person. When you see, it's about time and place. It's so many different factors. It's nuanced. I haven't said nuanced in a long time, y'all. Damn. This is nuanced. This is nuance. Like, if you're at a funeral, that is a factor that goes into how you're going to talk to people around you. If you're walking into a funeral, you ain't going to walk into the funeral like, yo, what up, everybody? Who out here trying to celebrate life? There's just like there's an appropriate, so maybe you wouldn't talk like that. How would you meet somebody at a funeral? Maybe you see a girl at the funeral and you're like, hey, how do you know so-and-so? And they're like, we work together, whatever. And then all of a sudden you have a sparked interest and you start, but you're not going to do it like, you're not going to have the same, because of the time and place. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you meet somebody at the library. I don't even go to the library. Say bookstore, library. I now sound like an old fogey. You at the bookstore. Even the bookstore sounds like I'm an old person, but they still got Barnes and Nobles. You might be in the Barnes and Noble section. You out in the psychology section, and you see a girl, and she's in the psychology section, and you might be like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like, make a joke, like, you know what I mean? You know how many times I put people at ease just by being like saying something that like I realize when I'm out in public, people are so not used to just having conversations with people. It's so crazy. I was at Erewhon the other day, and there was this girl. She's standing there, and I look down, and her shoes are sneakers and slippers, And so I just was like, wait, are those slipper sneakers? And she was like, looked at me and she was like, oh my God, yeah, right? Isn't it crazy? And then we just had this conversation that was just like, oh, this is how you spark conversation with people. People are ready to do it. People are ready to just talk about it. And that was all it was. I was like, oh, well, those are cool. I got to get some of those. She was like, I know, right? Oh my God. She walked away. I walked away. And I was like, oh, I just had an interaction with a human being. And everybody's ready to do it. Even when you have you're buying something and the person behind the counter and you're like, hey, what's up? Boom, boom, boom. And then you have this, you feel like a connection. You know what I mean? It's okay to have a connection, but you young people, you have lost the ability, or no, you're not even aware of how strong physical proximity is to communicating and connecting. You get lucky. This is what you don't realize. When you swipe right, or you talking to somebody on Instagram, or you're in the DMs for weeks and months, and if you meet them and it works, you're lucky. You just got lucky. Because sometimes that's not going to work. And most of the time it doesn't really work truly, if you really think about it. But there is something about allowing a person into your zone and then let those vulnerabilities show. Also, it makes you be on your P's and Q's, your best behavior. Because think about people just talking at home on the text and they in their underwear. There's a certain vibe you have at home when you're so comfortable, but you're not really talking. No, I need to see somebody get dressed up, who's had a bad day, but they trying to be like, hey, how you doing? And they're trying to just still be present, be accountable for how I feel, regardless of how they feel. That's how it is to communicate and be real with persons in real life. You don't need a damn social experiment to physically talk to someone. That's ridiculous. This generation is being stunted. Your growth as human beings is being stunted because you're so reliant on this physical, superficial thing. Look, I don't want to sit here and sound like an old ass fogey, man. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just telling you, I appreciate the dating apps, when I was single. I appreciate even just forget about just romance, even just interacting with your fans and people you don't know. There is something special about that. Okay, hey, boom, 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 boom. And then you can move on. Then you're like, okay, that's a safe environment. But if you're trying to make friends, you're trying to get people with the same interests, it's a way to start, but you have to get in person, experience body contact, physical proximity, experience pheromones. Do you guys even know what that is? Look this shit up, man. Pheromones, you guys are missing out. You young men, you missing out, man. You will do so much better with women if you talk to them in person. Even you guys, you think you ugly, you think you're too fat, you think you don't have, all the things that society makes you feel about yourself. Go get your game right. You can get your game right by just you will be surprised how, first of all, women aren't as shallow as you think they are. You know what I mean? They really aren't. They're not as shallow as you think you are. They are so much smarter and more evolved emotionally as creatures than we are as men. Women, they can feel that. They immediately be like, you know what? They already assessing. You say you too fat. They're like, but you know what? I like how sweet he is. I like how whatever he is. I like how you can only do that in person. I'm moving on. I've talked about this too much. You hear me? You don't need a social experiment. I thought that was the weirdest thing ever. Okay. All right. Moving on. I was on one today about that. Let's talk about some weird stories. Dude, I saw this. This is so bizarre. It's these headphones. That clean your ears. Shout out to this company, AutoSet ear cleaning system, right? But it's you stick this thing in your ear and you water, and then you can see the nastiness coming out of your ears. It's $2,800 to have this. Who would pay that much money for this, right? But it's supposed to help people with hearing and all this kind of stuff, and somebody's trying to make a bunch of money off this. But this is the weirdest shit ever. Imagine you on a subway, you on the bus, somebody come in, they got headphones like this, and I'm just, I'm like, yo. I don't even know if they really do music, but I just think when they say headphones, I think it's music, right? So you just, you boom, and then somebody, and then somebody sitting next to you, and they see there's wax and water building up inside the thing right there, and you all like that, yo, what up? What's up? Then you like, huh? What's up? Oh, I'm cleaning my ears, but I'm also rocking that Drake right now. You know what I mean? So it's ugh, dude, yuck. Yuck. This would be like wearing clear pants that the pants also work as a diaper in a toilet, So you got clear pants on and you just walking around and boo-boo is just sloshing around your legs. You know what I mean? And you got your cleaning headphones on and you like, yo, what up? Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I just pooped. That's what that is. Had to take a big one, right? Ain't that something? Yeah, I'm cleaning my ears right now too. Woo! Ugh. I just think that's nasty. Man, I thought maybe they look like these, right? What if I turn like this and it was just earwax in my ears? You know what I mean? It's just so I don't know. So crazy. So how's the volume, y'all? I just want to ask the people listening live, is my volume okay right now? I don't know. I got to figure out what's going on. I got to figure out what's going on with that if the thing is coming out too low. I hope it sounds good. Anyways. All right. So that was that story. That was one of the other crazy stories of the week. And if you got crazy stories that you want to send me, if you saw a really weird news story that you're like, yo, I want to hear what Griffin has to say about this, send it to me. Just email me at eric@ericgriffin.com or hit me in the Instagram DMs, just be like, you just started off with crazy story for Riffin with Griffin, and then put a link and then I'll check it out. You know what I mean? I'd love to do that. All right. So that was a crazy one. Here's another weird story that I saw just about some two dumb inmates, man. Criminals are stupid. The fact that, you even in jail, that's probably like a sign that you just a dummy anyway. But this is just a weird ass story. So these two inmates were caught at iHOP after allegedly using toothbrushes to escape from a Virginia jail. So these two guys, so you Shawshank Redemption your way out of prison, okay? However long it took with these toothbrushes that you dug a hole or whatever you did to get out of the jail, and then you escape from jail, and your plan is to go to a iHOP nearby. What? Wait, what did you do? The fact that you were even in jail, you already concocted this great escape plan that actually worked. You used toothbrushes, and now you get caught. Look at this. There's the hole right there. So they used toothbrushes to dig this hole. They probably took them a while, to get it right. They did it. They get out, and then their plan. They don't have a plan. They don't have all right, we're going to do this. Get your girl to get my passport, the fake passport. They don't got an outside plan. They just went outside. They got outside the jail whew, pancakes? Yeah, man, let's get some pancakes. Then they went to IHOP. This was some of the dumbest. It just, as soon as they got outside, the guy was like, yo, man, Rudy Tooty Fresh and Fruity? Oh, you reading my mind, homie. then they in IHOP in their prison clothes, by the way, right? They got their prison clothes on, and they went to freaking. So they got their orange jumpsuits on, and they table for two, you know what I mean? And you just it's not Halloween. What did they even say? Were they just yeah, costume party? We going to this work thing. We're work is jail. They didn't even. I'm sure they didn't even do nothing like that. There's just no thought process to it. They just sitting down, just yeah. Let me get the strawberry syrup, please. Which was the jam, by the way, at IHOP. When I used to go to IHOP when I was a kid, you get the pancakes, you get regular syrup and strawberry syrup, and you mix them together. So you pour a little strawberry syrup on first, and then you put the maple syrup on. Ooh wee! Huh. Do I need to go to IHOP, y'all? Oh man, it's so weird, man. And thanks for being here, chat. I see you guys in the chat. This is live. I appreciate you guys, everybody, and thanks for all the support. Super chats and all that stuff, and tips, and being a subscriber, being a member, all that kind of stuff that you could do to help support the show. I appreciate it. So that's dumb stories of the week, man. Dumb weird stories of the week. So I appreciate it. So I wanted to also talk about let's talk about some reviews now. So not necessarily spoilers, but I'm gonna try not to spoil anything. But I don't know if if you're watching, but it is what it is. Mandalorian is back, man. Mandalorian is back, and to me, Mandalorian and Loki are some of the best Disney Plus shows. I like Loki a lot, and that's coming back season 2. Can't wait to see that. But Mandalorian is one of the best shows, and it really opened up the Star Wars universe. I love that. I love that they're doing that stuff. I love all these shows, and actually, between Mandalorian and Andor, two of the really great shows. Andor was good too, though. You gotta watch that. But stick with Andor. Stick with it. It's gonna get boring. In the first 4 episodes, there's going to be moments where you're going to be like, what is this? But trust me, it picks up. It's great. So Mandalorian is back. Mando's back, played by, Pedro Pascal. But here's one point I want to make, okay, before I even get into this. So, we talked about Last of Us last week. So we're looking at I watched all of Last of Us, 8 great episodes. There was some ups and downs, but for the overall, it was a great overall arc, like a great 8-hour movie. And then I'm thinking about Mandalorian and where we've been through Mandalorian to this point right now. Played by the same character, by the way. This is Pedro Pascal. And I realized The Last of Us and Mandalorian, they're the same show. You know what I mean? It's the same concept. It's like this guy who's, because Mandalorian has been, he's not in the society of Mandalorians anymore. And, he goes on his own path and he's very noble but he's a killer. He's like, he's pop out killing people. And then in Last of Us, he's the same kind of guy. And he's taking care of this little girl. He bonds with this girl and he's the protector. Same thing in Mandalorian. This little Yoda, this little baby Yoda, Rogu, whatever they call him, the Mandalorian is doing the same thing. So it's just Joel in a Mandalorian suit, taking care of this little kid. And then Joel is taking care of, Mandalorian's taking care of the little kid, and then Joel's taking care of the girl. It's actually the same show. And they're all on an adventure. They're on this adventure to achieve stuff together. And I thought about it. I was like, oh man, we're watching the same show. It just shows you how there's not that many shows. No matter what you surround the characters with, you surround them with zombies or you surround them with space exploration. Basically, it's about how human beings interact with each other and their motivations on why they do things. And The Mandalorian and Last of Us, they doing the same thing. So, I don't know. That's just my feeling. Tell me how you feel about it in the comments. Give me your thoughts, There's glaring, obviously there's a lot of differences, but I'm just saying because it's happening right now and it's the same character, same actor, I'm saying. So you got, Pedro Pascal, this great actor, and he's it's the same energy. It's like Mandalorian's on the other show too. But anyways, first 3 episodes of Mandalorian, I don't know. I'm kind of what's going on in this world now? It's once they introduced who the Mandalorian is, who is he? What's his motivations and why he's doing things? Now we're just kind of all right, well, what's next? Get to it. Let me get a little sip of my coffee. I love coffee. I got some great coffee. Shout out to this Denver honey company. I'll tell you the name next week. I think it's called Borj, BJOJ. I don't know. Something honey company. I bought it at the airport. So good. I got this lavender honey. It's delicious. Anyways, I digress. Honey commercial over. So now I'm kind of like, all right, once you get past the fighting and it's kind of like Mandalorian's getting kind of boring. It's the same kind of thing. It's here's this badass dude who he got this invincible armor on. He's got great skills. He's rolling around with this little thing that really can take care of business if he needs to. Little Yoda could be you know what I mean? And then stuff starts floating around. So they actually a pretty badass combo in the same way in Last of Us, how Ellie could take care of herself too. But anyways, I digress again. I hope that the show picks up. As of right now in the show, and I'm not revealing anything, Mando, remember in the last season, he took off his helmet. And this is the way. You're not supposed to do that, which I find ridiculous. By the way, I reject that premise of the Mandalorians in the first place covering themselves for their whole life. It's man, you need some sun on your face. You know what I mean? I hope they taking supplements or something, vitamin D or something. Their faces must be horrible, right? So, I don't know. So I sometimes I kind of can't get past that idea, but whatever. I suspend my disbelief. So they got the masks on, right? And, so he took it off because he needed to save himself and whoever he was trying to save in the last show. in the last season, right? So now he's been rejected from the Mandalorian. He's already, I believe in the show, in the universe, he was already sort of kicked out of the community, and he's been trying to get himself back in. I think when he went against whoever with his job, and he kept the little Yoda Grogu, when he kept, whatever the little thing's name is, when he kept that, that's when he already was like, yo, you're not supposed to do that. You're a bounty hunter, and whatever. So like he's trying to get back into the community because he's very noble, he's very honorable, and he's very like traditional. He's like, this is the way. And so that's kind of what's happening right now. And I find it a little boring so far, but I know how these Star Wars shows go. So in the beginning, when they're establishing everything, it's a little bit boring. And then they really have a great payoff. So as of right now, I don't know if Grogu, that's his name. Thank you, chat. So we'll see. With this Disney, with these Star Wars shows, this is the way. You know what I mean? This is the way. All right. Huge spoiler alert coming right now. So if you want to watch this show on Amazon Prime, I want to talk about this show. It's called Swarm. Swarm, y'all. Swarm. It's on Amazon Prime. It's created by Donald Glover, from Atlanta, the rapper, very eccentric artist type guy, man. And it stars Dominique Flashback. Is that her name? Flashback. I can't see. Fishback, Chloe Bailey. But this girl. Okay, I don't even know where to begin with Swarm. I don't even know where to begin. Last night, so I told you, like I was saying earlier, I've been seeing some posts about the Culkin kid, one of the Culkin brothers. He got this full frontal thing. Anytime you see dick, you're just like, ugh, okay, too much dick in this. It's kind of, you know what I mean? But it's always, it's like a statement. Dick is always a statement when you see it in a show or something. They shown it for a reason. It's not like titties that just kind of like, titties could just be out, you know what I mean? And sometimes you're like, why those titties out? Like, it's like, okay, titties are out, but it's like, I don't know if it's necessary. When you see dick, it's like, okay, hey, dick. You know what I mean? They really trying to like show you stuff, okay? So I was like, well, let me check this show out. I didn't know what it was about until I saw it. I was watching Prime because I just finished The Consultant. And so I was like, let me see what else is on Prime. And I saw this. And I saw this girl. And, and so when you see this, you just go, oh, man, what is this about? Like, she has this sort of dazed look on her face. And I'm like, what is this about? And I'm like, oh, shit, it's a black girl, too. I'm like, all right, what's this about? And here's the thing, too, I'll say about this. When you start, like, we live in this society right now where, we're pushing for inclusion, we're pushing for diversity. And it's like, so in that transition process, it could be weird for people, Like, I know a lot of white people listen to podcasts and watch podcasts. I know most of you are white. You know what I mean? I would probably say a majority of you are white. It's fine. That's the podcast market, And so, you've lived your life where, like, you see people on TV that look like you, and you kind of connect with that, and you don't always connect with people that don't look like you. It's not racist. It's not whatever. And I don't like necessarily talk about it, but it's a podcast, and I'm being introspective. I'm like analyzing the situation to the best of my ability and with my knowledge of my 51 years. And what I'm saying is, like, a lot of times when you look at when you're not white, when you're white and you look at a show like this, you see this, there might be something in you that's like, well, what's this? Like, you might be like, oh, is this a black show? You might be like, oh, is this? I don't know. As a person of color who grew up in like a more prejudiced society when I was younger, you know what I mean? When you're a person of color and the TV comes on, you don't even get to think about that. It's like one of my favorite shows when I was a kid was Dukes of Hazzard. I loved the Dukes of Hazzard. It was my show. I never thought about like, it never came to me like, oh wow, this is a orange car with a Confederate flag on the top with two country white boys driving around a little hick town. It's like having a green Volkswagen with a swastika on it You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, maybe that's extreme, but you know what I mean. So it's like, when, you coming up, it's like, I watched Friends. I watched Seinfeld. I watched Frasier. I watched, Dynasty, Go Back Dallas. I watched all these, like, it's just like everything was like, all the actors were white, and you just watch and you enjoy them for the things that they are. Like Dahmer. Like you watch Dahmer and you see like the star of the show or that other one, Mind something, whatever, the one on Netflix about the serial killers. You guys will figure it out. You'll tell me in the chat. It's like that one is like, it goes way back to whenever, and it's like mostly white people. You know what I mean? So you just go. Oh, so anyway, what am I talking about right now? What I'm saying is, like, when you watch this, you see this. You shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but you might be like, what is this? I'm trying to tell you, like, push past that if you do feel like that. And even if you're a person of color and you see this, we think the same thing. I might see this and be like, what's this about? And that's from like years of non-diversity, okay? So all I'm trying to say right now is, like, this show deserves a watch for just the art of it, just the story. Like, if you could get past those societal feelings and things that you might have, your own like prejudices that you don't even know you have, and how crazy our world is, get past it and watch this show. Donald Glover is a madman. He's a madman, dude. He's that kind of artistic savant, sort of like, people throw the word genius around a lot about people, and I it's the only word I can think of because I don't. It's just, he's so authentically, like, the things he comes up with. This is the weirdest damn show. I started watching this show last night at whatever time. I finished the whole season last night. I was so enthralled by this show. I know somebody in the chat said, I hate the term person of color. Yeah, it's because it is what it is. Like, I'm mixed. You know what I'm saying? So that's the closest thing I can say. I don't want to sit here and be like, I'm black, I'm this, I'm half this, I'm half that. I'm a person of color, because there's only two. You know what I mean? So that's, I understand, but I don't mean it that way. Think of my intention, not the words you've heard from other people other times. Just think of my intent. Anyways, this show, listen, if you like, it's spoiler. This show is about this young girl. Okay, she is obsessed with this Beyonce type singer, oh man, I don't even know how to even talk about this correctly, but there's this thing that they do in the beginning of the show. All right. There's a thing they do in the beginning of every show where they say, is this real? No, this is not a work of fiction. They say, Wait. Hold on. I want to look this up for a second. I had it in my web page. My web page closed. Okay. So, okay. This is how the show starts every episode. It goes, this is not a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons living or dead or actual events is intentional. It already blows your mind that's the one where you go, huh? Like, this whole show is a mind fuck when you're watching it, man. This show will make you Google. You will Google. You're going to be like, is this real? What's going on with this? So you do that on your own. I'm not going to tell you what I found. Okay. So the events in the show, even though it's a fiction, it is a fictional story, but they used real murders. So anyway, it's about this girl who's obsessed with this singer in the show. Her name's Najee, but it represents, and then they're called the Swarm, which is, you know what you're saying. This is Beyonce fans and how obsessed they are. And she's one of these obsessed, like super obsessed, troubled kids. She was a troubled kid who used this fandom and online world to like escape from her troubles, but she went too far. She's too deep in. She has a tragic thing happen to a family member, and then she goes off the deep end. And then she turns into Dahmer. That's all I can say, man. Like, this is the illest show I have seen in a long time, man. Since the Dahmer one, man. Like, this sucker is so bizarre what she does. The series of events and how the story is told. Like, kudos to the writers and creators of this show. They tell the story in such a way that you're just enthralled, man. You really are enthralled. You really have to find ways to get into it. And I'm telling you, at first, I can see, like, some people kind of being like, well, I mean, what is this? Is this like Menace to Society or something? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, it has a vibe like that. And at first I was like, huh. And then I started being interested. I was like, oh, wow. It's very graphic. It's very sexual. It's very like, and the things that happen, you're just kind of like, the story isn't necessarily like telling a fluid story from beginning to end. It's sort of like the stories are connected and then they're not connected. The people are connected and they're not connected. They have this sort of like documentary episode where you're like, you really get mind blown because you're like, is this real? Is this what's going on here? The acting is superb. Like, the dude won not a Grammy, an Emmy or a Golden Globe for playing Dahmer. Okay. This girl right here, Dominique Fishback, she acted her ass off in this show, man. Like, this show's gonna get something. It's gonna get something. What is happening in this show? Just thinking about society and the internet and how people interact with each other and trauma, and it deals with all of this in such a way that I don't know what to say, man. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm just telling you this. If you're into horror, if you're into, if you're into, the murder stuff, weird criminal stuff, this is the show, man. I cannot recommend this show any higher than I am doing right now. I really can't. I would give it 20 woo-woos because I think it's that fascinating of a show to watch. I don't know if the show is great. I don't know if the show is terrible, but I'm telling you, this is a fascinating show. It's a fascinating show, and I want you to watch it and tell me about it. All right, y'all. That was 20 woo-woos. I did it. I mean, that just was it just was such a fascinating show to watch. I mean, I'm telling you, man, I binge watched it, y'all. I couldn't stop watching it last night. I was up till 4:00 in the morning. That's why I was late to do my podcast today, because I wanted to get up and do my podcast at 10, but I was so tired. I was so tired that I couldn't even do it, man. All right. So that's that, shout out to Donald Glover and all the makers of that show, man. So make sure you guys check that out. Well, you know what time it is, y'all. You know how we do every single week. I want to thank everybody for watching Riffin with Griffin every week. You know what I mean? So it's like, make sure you check me out. I'm coming to your town. I might be. So in April, I'm going to Missouri at the, what is the name of the club? The Blue Room. So I'm going to be in the Blue Room. I'm coming to the Louisville Comedy Club, and I'm going to the Mothership in Austin. So check me out. My April is packed. I'm going to update my website later. So make sure you guys check that out. Please subscribe and share. Hit the notifications so you know when I'm going live. I'm going to attempt to do this every Wednesday at 10 a.m. So look out for that Pacific time. So that, we'll try to be more consistent with that. Check me out on Twitch. I'll be on Twitch in like 20 minutes, man. 20 minutes I'll be on Twitch. So come check me out if you want to see me game. I game and I interact. You know what I mean? It's always fun stuff. Patreon members, thanks for the support. That's really what it is. It's support, and I appreciate it. You could be a YouTube member. You could be a subscriber on Twitch. Be a subscriber on Twitch, or you could do the Patreon too. However you want to do that, but you know how we do it. You know how we do it here on Riffin with Griffin, which is the rap recap. That's how we do it here on Riffin with Griffin. Oh, get out in public. Meet people live. Strive to stay alive. And on. Yo, Word is Born. That show was ill. Gave me a little chill. I had the thrill. Like a $3 bill. My rap style kills. Cause I'm the illest, thrillest, the chillest. Woo! You don't need no stupid ass social experiment. Yo, young man, get out and meet those chicks. Just don't lick your lips. Get out there like you, John Wick. Yo, thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin. We here every week. And you can send me your own beat. When I rap, I know it's a treat. Woo! Skeet, 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 it. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching Riffin with Griffin. We did it again. I hope the sound is good this week because everybody's complaining. But listen, I'll see you next week, y'all. Thanks for watching. Woo! Riffin with Griffin.